ANDERZÉN.
What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel ANDERZÉN. My name is Brooks and this is my 1995 C36 AMG that today is going to be getting the special Motorsport hardware treatment. So all my cars, my 5 Mercedes, always get converted to lug studs, and as soon as I get them, pretty much it's kind of a thing because I prefer lug studs, just overall serviceability, wheel interchangeability, just ease of working on things. I just prefer them. I like the look as well, and I just think they're a great product, and I like to support Motorsport hardware in general. They actually sent these ones out on the house for us to install on the C36. Can't thank them enough. So again, big thank you to Motorsport hardware. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it, and let me show you guys what they sent out. All right, so here we are. We got the 75mm wheel stud kit. I was grabbing the tool that I needed, which is a 5mm Allen socket. And here are the 75mm race studs. Like I said, they got the 5mm end on them right there that you use to tighten them down to 25 foot-pounds, and you can install some thread locker as well with that. For my wheels, for those that maybe you're venturing into this because they just want to watch a wheel stud conversion video, or maybe you like Mercedes, we got the AMG monoblocks in a 17-inch, and those use a ball seat for the lug bolts from factory, but in this case we're using ball seat lug nuts, open head. So these will replace our factory worn out lug bolts right here. And to be honest, guys, I mean, nothing against it. I know Mercedes most likely does this for cost effectiveness. It's one part versus 2 pieces, but there's no real reason why these would be better or anything like that. It's just, in my opinion, a cost aversion. So that's it. Lug studs it is. I love them. Every car I have has them. The C55, the E420, the ML63, the ML55, they all have them. So let's go ahead and get started. Like you guys saw, I already have the wheel pulled off, and it's a pretty simple job, to be honest. You're not going to have much issues, so just get the tools you need and you'll be good to go. So right here we got all of our open threads. I'm gonna go ahead and clean them out a little bit. Obviously, whatever you gotta do, jack your car up, get your wheels off to start out, but these are pretty much ready to go. And to install them, apply your thread locker, whichever you desire. I'm using blue today. On the other ones I actually use red, but this is what I have, and this is plenty. So we'll put a little bit of blue thread locker, thread them in by hand, get them seated, and then once they're all seated, what I like to do is use a flat blade screwdriver, wedge it in to the rotor so it can't spin when you're trying to torque them down, and then use your torque wrench and torque them down. Like I said, already got mine set and ready to go, so we'll get to that once we install everything. And sorry for using my washer and dryer as a workbench. For those just visiting the channel, we just got a garage of our own finally, after 2+ years of working on the cars out in the elements or driving all the way to my parents' place. So yeah, it's a little bit chaotic and disorganized right now because we just got everything swapped over here from our condo. So yeah, washer and dryer for a workbench it is. All right guys, got a couple drops of our blue thread locker onto our stud, and we are ready to go ahead and throw this in. And in my case, these are M12 by 1.5, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. So basically seat them until you feel them start to kind of bottom out by hand, and that's good to go. We're going to repeat that process 4 more times, and then I'll show you guys once I'm torquing them down. Alright guys, all of those are installed, tightened by hand with the blue thread lock on them. So I'm going to go ahead, get our flat blade, and start to torque these down to 25 foot-pounds. And there's our little flat blade trick. As long as you got vented rotors, you can use this as an aid so you don't have to have somebody trying to hold down the brake pedal for you. You can do this on your own. Alright, let's go ahead and torque them down. Should be good, already set. So I like to kind of make sure they're all the way snugged up first. There we go. Go to the next one. Good to go. All right, so we'll go ahead and slap our wheel back on, get our lug nuts on, and then tighten everything down. I believe Motorsport Hardware likes you to double check after like a week or so. You can re-tighten things just to double check nothing has come loose or moved. But yeah, they've been great for me. I've had all the cars on them probably for a couple years now. The E420 is the most recent, I think, or maybe the ML60, I can't remember, which is outside right now. I keep pointing out there like you guys can see it, but you can't see that. Yeah, they hold up great. People love to run them for track usage as well. It makes things a lot easier. And if you end up, you know, breaking whatever, Motorsport Hardware usually probably help you out. And if you need to grab an individual stud, obviously not expensive too. So great option. Alright, let's go ahead and get this wheel installed, and obviously take our screwdriver out. And that is where things get a lot easier compared to using lug bolts. If I would have done that right now, would have had to locate it, then you're spinning the wheel around trying to make sure you're lined up with the holes. Just gets super annoying. And with me working on 5 of these things, I'd be driving myself crazy if I had, you know, 100 pairs of lug bolts I got to change all the time. So it's better to do this. Got our lug nuts, beautiful silver finish, and gonna go ahead, throw these on. These are 17 millimeter, I believe, and I'll need a deep socket, obviously. Get these all the way back here, but I'll just get them started by hand real quick and speed you guys up through the process. Alright guys, those are all done. You can see everything's seated in there. And the good thing is, I ordered the 75 millimeter. I could have probably ordered, the 90 would have poked out a little bit. So I'm probably going to end up running these factory wheels for the most part because they're kind of a classic and tied in with the car. But if I ever do want to change, at least I do have some flexibility and a nice range so I can run different offsets. I can run spacers if I want to, and I still got plenty of thread to use. So these are a great option for that as well. Just interchangeability, like I'll show you guys on the C55. Now these are quite aggressive. They're 90 millimeter, so in the back they're poking out quite a bit, but on the front, it's gonna be hard to see, it's a little darker over here, but I actually run a 20 mil spacer and they end up working perfectly with it. So yeah, just gives you a lot of flexibility. And for me, you know, somebody that runs lots of different wheels, lots of different combinations, experiments with spacers, they just make for an invaluable piece to add to the car, because if you're stuck on lug bolts, every time you get a new set of wheels, unless you get the exact same spec or whatever, which hard to come by, every time you get wheels, you're gonna have to buy new lug bolts in different lengths, and that just becomes way less cost effective than just a one-time, really affordable purchase of a lug stud kit. So if that doesn't sell you enough, I don't know what will. For me, it's a no-brainer. There's no way I'm ever gonna have a German car again without converting it to lug studs. It's just, yeah, I just prefer it by far. All right, well, this side's buttoned up. Let's go ahead and move over to the passenger side, and then we'll work our way to the rear. Alright guys, I'd say it's time to lower down the front and tighten things up. You can torque down to your factory spec pretty much. I think Motorsport Hardware recommends, I think, around 95 foot-pounds. And factory spec for these, I believe, is 90 anyway, so I will stick to that. And yeah, we'll get it down on the ground. Alright you guys, she's almost on the ground, but it is late, so I will catch you guys in a second tomorrow. Alright guys, well, let's see where we left off. I believe we got to finish up the rears. Still got half a box in here left to install. So let's finish that off and we'll take an overall look at things once it's back on the ground. Alright guys, on to the last side. Let's go ahead and come in for a closer look. Alright guys, first time she's been outside in a while actually, but let's take a closer look at the finished lug stud install. Alright, so there they are. Let's try to get a good view for you guys. Nice and clean. Totally flush inside of the wheels, you can't see them at all, just like factory. Again, running the 75mm stud kit. You can see them a little more in the back. Just has to do with the offsets, but still flush with the wheel. Well guys, that'll go ahead and do it for this one. A huge thank you again to Motorsport Hardware for always supporting me and the channel and the builds. Super happy to have this thing on the lug studs now. Just one more thing off of the checklist of the many things on the checklist. So if you guys enjoyed and you just happen to stumble upon the channel because you want to see the lug stud install, check out my other videos. Maybe you'll find something you enjoy, and if you do, consider subscribing. If you're just coming here because you are a regular member of the channel and you wanted to see this, then thank you guys again for the continued support, and go show some love to Motorsport Hardware. And I highly recommend all of your Euros, whatever car you have that has lug bolts, just switch them out. You'll do yourself a favor. You'll thank me later. Anyways, catch you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.